So we're here speaking with Mark O'Brien, the subject of the Oscar-winning Breathing Lessons, The Life and Work of Mark O'Brien, made by filmmaker Jessica Yu. And we're in Mark's wonderful, airy, light apartment, no longer in the cockroach-infested bat cave that you witnessed within the film. So the first question I want to know is, who did you have to kill to get this apartment?
Oh, well, I didn't have to kill anyone. It was just that Brenda Bell wrote about me in the Los Angeles Times in 1994. And some woman in L.A., Jan Biscard, read the article, and she came up to see me around Christmas at the old place, and she said, "How can you live in these circumstances? I'm going to get you a new place." And I said, "Well, go ahead and try. It's real hard." So she called 8 million people and pulled 8 million strings, and somehow she knew Patrick Kennedy, who built the building. So here I am.
And this is from the article that was in the LA Times.
Yeah.
Right? So this happened all before the movie, right?
Oh, yes,
okay.
yes.
So is that how Jessica found out about you? How did Jessica come to know of you?
Jessica had written for Pacific News Series, and she'd made a couple of documentaries. Sandy Close, the boss at Pacific News Service, suggested to Jessica she make a movie about me, and Jessica said she wasn't sure at first, but she came to my place and we talked.
Her idea. So it wasn't like she had seen your poetry or...
Well, after she started the movie, I gave her everything I'd written.
So
I think she might have read some of them.
So how did Sandy Close know your work? Because you'd done public...
Yeah, I write for Pacific News. I'm an associate editor there now. It's strictly an honorary title.
No big paycheck goes with it, I assume, right? So when this Jessica came and met you and talked to you about what she wanted to do?
Yeah, 94.
So what made you want to do it? I mean, because you've had some experiences of filmmakers. I remember after you graduated from Cal, right? And there was something on the news about you, and then somebody else had seen it and called you up and wanted to film you something about you, and it turned out pretty badly, as I recall, and you were pretty burned by it. So what made you trust Jessica? What made you think this might turn out okay compared to what had happened in the past?
Well, she just seemed like a very smart and sensitive woman, and I told her the things I wanted to do and things.
Like what? Like what?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Huh?
No.
Now, what did you tell her you wanted in this film?
Oh, well, I said I wanted to talk about independent living, and it usually scares the bejesus out of most people, because it's politics, and you might offend someone. And so she was cool with that. And I just liked her. She seemed a very interesting person. She was an English major too, and it seemed like a very small-time production. She didn't have a crew of 40 people. She wasn't brought to us by General Foods. And I just thought, oh, it'll be a little movie, it'll show in a few art theaters, and that'll be the end of it.
So you had no idea going into it. Did she? I guess she didn't either, right?
Well, I also, at the same time she started filming me, Ali Light and Irving Saraf were filming me for their documentary motion picture. And they gave Jessica advice on how to get the film, her film nominated for an Oscar. And it was very complicated. I didn't even think Jessica had fulfilled the requirements. And then Ali Light called me early 97 and said She did reading lessons, was up for an Oscar in the short documentary division.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
It started out as a small independent project with some grants, I assume, that kind of thing. She probably got a few grants.
Sandy Close paid for them.
Sandy Close from Pacific.
She paid for
I
most of
see.
it.
Okay. So one of the things, the questions I had in watching anything that I've ever seen filmed, this particular piece was, I thought, really well done because it focused on your work. It was shot with a real sensuous eye.
Yeah.
I thought just beautifully. You know, it's a little art, you know, very artistic, and it didn't have any of that, oh, here's this remarkable overcomer who overcomes his disability crap, you know.
Yeah,
It was very much
crap.
about you expressing your life through your own words and through your work and just letting the camera take it in. But that's very rare. But still at the same time, it's like you're the object in a way, and you're the object based on the fact that you're disabled to some extent. Okay, that's one of the main interests.
Yes,
And I'm just wondering how, what did it feel like to be an object, you know, for the camera, having your life exposed to the camera in this way?
I'm not sure, but you asked me one reason I was comfortable with Jessica. She showed me her other documentaries, and her approach is just to film people talking. She isn't on the screen at all. Her voice isn't on it at all. So I feel like I was in charge of a lot of it, in charge of what words would be in it.
Was that important to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that way I don't have any spouting down there talking about the courageous cripple overcoming all odds. So that was a great help. I never really felt like an object. I guess I like people to point cameras at me. I mean, there's stuff where she like had a camera operator point the camera at the motor end of the iron lawn for half an hour, and I just know they have to do that. But
Well, the reason I was asking is
comfortable
because
with
I always have mixed feelings. You know, I mean, part of it is you're a writer and you're in the arts.
Yeah.
So it's that thing you obviously want to be on.
Yeah.
I mean, and that the other, there's this kind of mixed feeling about, but I want him to want it for the right reasons. So when you saw the film, what was your reaction? What did you think when you saw the film? Did you like it?
Well, I
or
could
did
tell it
you
was
feel-
well done. Mostly I felt embarrassed.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, it makes me look like such a wonderful person.
Well, and we know what a snarky
Yeah,
shit you are.
yeah, well, the contrast between life and art.
Well, you know.
And Bruce, my tenant Bruce was watching it with me. It was over, he said, that's going to win an Oscar.
Really?
Yeah,
He said that?
He told that to some friends of his, and they thought he was nuts.
Huh.
So he was vindicated.
When did you see it? Did she bring a
No,
copy?
in
Or?
November of 95, like a month, for a few weeks before the world premiere at the PFA.
Did you see it here? Or
Yeah,
did
on the
were you able
TV.
To, Did she come by with it and all? Did you get a chance to give her feedback on it? Any kind of rough cut, or did you
Well,
actually just
she showed me the final cut.
she just showed you the final cut?
Yeah, she was anxious to know it, I think, but she wasn't here.
So why do you say it's not an accurate representative? Makes you look too nice. Why?
Oh.
What? What's missing
Yeah,
there?
it doesn't show me getting mad or feeling sorry for myself or feeling confused and depressed. It's hard to show that on film, I guess.
Well, it's a half an hour documentary too, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to me, when I watched it, one of the things I liked about it, even though, yeah, it doesn't show the whole you, frankly, but was the focus on, rather than the remarkable individual who's, you know, it really focused on the life you have as this individual.
Well, yeah, that's what I liked about it,
Yeah.
the title.
Yeah.
The life and work, I like that. 'Cause there's a lot of able-bodied people think we could sit around and feel sorry for ourselves and day, we watch TV all day, or,
Yeah.
and just like after disability. For no other reason, we get bored watching daytime TV. So.
One of the questions I wanted to ask about the film, since it's come out and it's gotten so much attention, what has that been like for you? What's happened once the film got such great reviews and has had, much wider viewership than had been anticipated, wins the Oscar? What has it meant to your life and to you personally?
Well, I get a lot of requests for interviews, especially Oscar week. All the TV stations were calling me around the clock. And
did you give interviews?
I did up to a point, and Channel 7 interviewed me. I was trying to tell them about independent living. And this dopey anchor person, and she said, "Can you tell me what remarkable qualities enable you to leave the nursing home?" I screamed at the camera, I screamed, "It doesn't matter how smart you are, how brave you are. If you're in a nursing home and there's no attendant care program outside, you're stuck there. You're stuck there for life." And they cut that out, so I'm not doing any more TV.
Really? Yeah. They don't want to hear it. Isn't it weird how they just, it's not news. So what's been the biggest change in your life since the film? What was the best thing that came out of this for you? Is it bringing more attention to your work, or?
I think it'll help sell my autobiography. But
and that's the project you're working on now?
Oh, I'm working on several projects.
Okay.
But anyway, it's called How I Became a Human Being. It'll be published in the spring of '98 by Kodansha. Kodansha.
This is the autobiography?
Yeah, autobiography.
Is this the one you've been working on with your
Two years, yeah.
I thought this was the one, The Man in the Iron Lung.
The Man in the Iron Lung is a book of poetry. It'll be
out
later this month, June.
So this isn't your first book, though. You had another book called Breathing Lessons, right?
Just Breathing.
Breathing,
yeah.
Right. Is that still available?
Yeah, it was published in 1990. And in the fall, the Lemonade Factory will come out with another book called Love and Baseball.
Oh, really? God, you're on a roll, kid.
Yeah.
What are the projects that you're working on now? What are the goals that you've got? And what's coming up for you in the near
to
future?
bed with Susan.
Well, see, you didn't tell us anything about this.
Oh, yeah.
Is this like the hot babe in your life, or what?
Yeah, I thought you met her.
It's been a pleasure talking to you as always. And we felt that, it was unfair that since this was about your life, that you did not get your very own Oscar.
Oh, it's okay.
So, well, we did not think so. We have put together at great expense, sparing no expense, flown in from France, especially made by La Penne, your very own, very special GIMP Oscar. Ta-da! And here it is. It's an Oscar, in case you can't tell, in an iron lung.
To quote one of our great,
Go ahead.
Quote one of our great presidents, "That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen."
I love it. Who was that who said that?
LBJ on his portrait.
Oh, isn't it great? Look at that. Can you see it?
The swan? Is that a swan at the end?
There's a swan.
Flamingo.
There's a
pink flamingo.
Pink flamingo.
Oh, every island should have a pink flamingo.
Pink flamingo, and it's got all kinds of little doodads on it.
That's
and there
amazing.
you are. Isn't that incredible?
Who made it?
I did.
La Penne.
Oh,
the
La
special
Penne.
designer of La Penne.
I thought you meant J.C. Penney's.
And you didn't get an Oscar yourself?
No, it's Jessica's. 2 days after the Oscar, she brought it up here and let me kiss its ugly little head.
Well, I remember I told you when you got a chance to see the Oscar, I wanted to see something particularly obscene done with that tongue of yours, since it's such a prominent player in your life. I don't know what it is, but ever since I spent the day a couple weeks ago I did my first reading of my play, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's in this real funky old musty building, and I was there like from 12 o'clock till it's another cripple that isn't getting cured. So he's another bore, okay, to the major world, I'm afraid. Dear of the GIMP community anytime soon, but that's
Yeah.
is the energy to do stuff. I'm already so overcommitted to things that I feel like I'm just constantly struggling to do what I already am committed to. But I'd really love to do it. I mean, I'd love to get together like a regular poetry series thing that would take place, live poetry performance, and it would be, you know, sort of multicultural, and what you'd have is like different themes each week.
Yeah.
So the theme one week might be sensuality, sexuality, body image.